What's going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings are looking to replace talisman edge rusher Danielle Hunter as he signed with his hometown Houston Texans. And yes, the Vikings have done a very good job in free agency, supplementing the loss of 99 problems with Jonathan Gennard from the Texans, Andrew Van Ginkel from the Dolphins, and also Jahad Ward. Also spent some time in Texas. But the Vikings, yes, they certainly could and should be in the market for an edge rusher because you can never have enough dudes who can get to the quarterback. Right, it's a very good problem to have, and Brian Flores, I'm sure, would love to have it. Enter Dallas Turner, who some people see as the number one edge rusher in this draft class, and the Vikings reportedly met with Turner as a top 30 visit on Monday, and I love it. I love it, man. Where, yes, the Vikings need to go after quarterback, but if somehow, some way, they decide to stick and pick at 11 and 23, and Turner is there, and they decide to go with him as he's the top player on their board, and they don't go with Penix or Nix or whatever, I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it because, again, you can never have enough guys who can generate their own pass rush, as well as, Danielle did some very good work over the last 2 years being a stand-up outside linebacker, even though that's not his natural position. Turner is a true blue 3-4 outside linebacker and would fit in perfectly what Flores wants to do. Let's talk about Turner today. Background, 21 years young. Just turned 21 in February. True junior coming in. 6'2 and 3/4. 3/4 is important. As well as 247 pounds. So a little bit undersized edge rusher, but yeah, we'll certainly still get after it. Former 4-star recruit from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, took his talents to Tuscaloosa. Immediate impact right away. 8.5 sacks in 2021 as a true freshman, as a rotational player. 2023 was the bust out. Well, he already had bust out, but you know what I mean. But 55 pressures, 10 sacks, 81.6 PFF grade. Also recorded a sack in his final 3 games: the Iron Bowl versus Auburn, the SEC title game against Georgia, as well as the college football playoff semifinals against Michigan. Was first team All SEC. Naturally, as well as co-SEC Defensive Player of the Year with Mississippi State physical freak linebacker Nathaniel Watson, who the Vikings should target day 3, but that's another video, as well as he was a consensus All-American. Other than that, right? Combine-wise, physical freak. So undersized, but long arms, at 34 and change. Ain't bad, man. That ain't bad for a tackle. 949 RAS, 446 40, great 10-yard split as well. 40.5-inch vertical leap, as well as a 10-foot 7-inch broad, which is pretty damn good. So speed, explosiveness, and just really getting after things. And also, yeah, he didn't test the agility drills. A lot of players this year opted out of the agility drills, but on tape, ain't worried about Dallas Turner turning a corner, that's for sure. Scouting report from NFL.com, Lance Zierlein. NFL comp, Brian Burns. So another undersized edge rusher. There's talking about Brian Burns was like 205 when he came out of Florida State, which is hilarious, man. But overview, long athletic with the explosive traits needed to become an impactful NFL pass rusher. Turner's first step quickness and elite closing burst are important building blocks, but he still needs to work on his process from point A to point B. He hasn't learned to create the space and angles needed to consistently attack the edges, but that should come with better hand development and a more diversified approach. A team would be wise to widen him out and allow him a better runway to ignite his burst and overwhelm tackles with his speed. He's added 20 pounds coming to Alabama, but he struggles at times to stack and shed run blockers or set a firm edge. Turner's frame and game are much less developed than Will Anderson Jr.'s coming out of Alabama last year. Well, Will Anderson was a bad dude, man. So it could take time for him to make his mark as a starting 3-4 outside linebacker. That guy. But with Turner, so he is short, but does have those long arms and wingspan, so length isn't going to necessarily be an issue on the edge for the most part. And he has that lightning quick first step, elite closing speed. So once he gets in on the quarterback, he generally is going to seal the deal. Frame can add more size. He could probably stand playing around like 255 and some change and not lose any speed. Raw but effective pass rusher, and also a 14.5% career pressure rate, which is really, really damn good. Anything above 11% is really good. Also, he proved in 2023 that he's not just Will Anderson's Robin. So Will Anderson was very dominant for Alabama all those seasons, and Turner was sort of the sidekick, but last year he proved that he can be his own man, and I am Batman. And he's that prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker, adequate in coverage as well, not necessarily liability, although I would like him to be moving forward and towards the quarterback most of the time, as well as he can rush both sides. But yes, he is young, like we said, just turned 21 in February, and there is a lot of work in terms of adding rushing with a plan, and also adding a more diversified pass rushing moves. But he even despite his size, like given his quickness and given the way that the tackle's set on him, he can be impactful with the bull rush. I think that if he gets that Dwight Freeney spin move in there, that would be really damn good. And just like hand placement and working on things like that, I think all those soft skills he could definitely turn up in the NFL. Plus, I mean, Mike Pettin, who's now the outside linebackers coach as well as being the assistant head coach, like he has worked and developed some great edge rushers during his time in Baltimore and with the Jets. Not so much the Packers. I don't want to give him credit for Rashawn Gary, although I should. But I do think that Pettin would certainly love to land Dallas Turner in this spot. In terms of edge rusher, so it's a weird class because most years Turner would be a slam dunk top 10 pick, maybe even top 5. But with so many quarterbacks, receivers, and high level offensive tackles, I feel like Turner's been pushed down a little bit. And it's a little bit interesting too because for me, Turner is edge rusher 1. This is the consensus board from NFL mock draft database. So for me, Turner is edge rusher 1. Slight edge over Jared Verse, although I do love the power. I think Jared Verse is like Cameron Jordan 2.0. Latu is a little bit older. Well, Verse is older too, but Latu does have those medical questions, but he is an absolute beast. And I think that. So you have these tier 1 guys, then a pretty significant drop off. Then you get into Chop Robinson, Darius Robinson, Marshawn Nealon is going to be in that early day 2, late round 1 mix as well. Also, Adissa Isaac should be creeping up in there somewhere too. So I don't know, but either way, again, it's kind of a weird class because I feel like in most classes Turner would be seen as a top prize, but he's not generally mocked as a top 10 pick. But, we'll see what happens. Like we said, edge rusher is always valuable. And also, like I said, it's not the deepest edge rusher class in the world. So he could make him a hotter commodity. And like we said, the Vikings did do a good job at supplementing on the edge with the Grenard, Van Ginkel, Jihad Ward. Apache Jones, second in contract year, is going to come in super motivated too. And hopefully Andre Carr the second could do a little something. But he's a dude. Dallas Turner is a dude. He's a dog. And I think that he is very much ascending and is not even close to his ceiling yet, which is really damn scary. And if the Vikings, do stick and pick at 11, I wouldn't necessarily be mad if it is Dallas Turner. They go a different direction at 23 as well. Maybe they double down on defense. Maybe, Dallas Turner like a Johnny Newton at 23, or a Dallas Turner and his teammate maybe Kool-Aid McKinstry if you want a true man-to-man cornerback at 23. I know QB, but I don't know. Can we maneuver and get Rattler in the second round? I don't know, man. But Dallas Turner is fantastic, and I'm glad the Vikings are doing their diligence on him. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings bring in superstar edge rusher Dallas Turner out of Alabama to the Vikings for a top 30 visit. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.